There is an uncomfortable truth about human beings that almost nobody wants to admit. Most of what we do in life is not as noble as we pretend. Careers, success, status, ambition, even creativity. Beneath all of it, there may be something much older and much simpler. The need to be chosen. Look carefully at the world around you. A man destroys his health, working 80 hours a week trying to build an impressive career. Another spends years sculpting his body in the gym, staring at his reflection like it's a project that must never be finished. Someone buys clothes they cannot afford. Someone else lies awake at night wondering why they are not attractive enough, interesting enough, successful enough. On the surface, these stories look different. Ambition, self-improvement, personal goals. But underneath them, there may be a much darker engine running, an ancient instinct, the need to be desired. Charles Darwin discovered something deeply disturbing about evolution. Survival is not enough. It never was. Living organisms do not just need to survive, they need to be chosen. Darwin called this sexual selection. And once you understand this idea, many strange things about human behavior suddenly start to make sense. The obsession with status, the need to appear impressive, the quiet anxiety of not being enough. It stops looking random. Charles Darwin wrote something brutally simple in The Descent of Man. Many traits in living beings did not evolve because they help survival. They evolved because they attract attention. They attract mates. In other words, a large part of what we call personality, ambition, or success may not exist because it helps us live. It may exist because it helps us get chosen. Think about something ordinary. Someone spends 20 years chasing money. They sacrifice their time, their sleep, their relationships, their peace of mind. When people ask why, the answer sounds respectable. Financial freedom, security, success. But when they finally become wealthy, something strange happens. They start displaying it. Luxury cars, expensive watches, exotic vacations that must be photographed and shared, restaurants that cost more than most people's monthly groceries. Why? Because the money itself is not the point. The signal is the point. The economist Thorstein Veblen noticed this over 100 years ago. He called it conspicuous consumption, buying things not because you need them, but because other people will see them. The object becomes a message. It says something without words. I have resources. I have power. I have status. And those signals exist for a reason. They communicate value inside a social group. Nature uses this exact same trick. Look at a peacock. The male peacock carries a gigantic tail. It is heavy. It slows him down. It attracts predators. From a survival perspective, it is a terrible design. And yet, evolution kept it. Why? Because peahens prefer the males with the biggest, most impressive tails. The tail is not for survival. It is a display. Darwin called this sexual selection. The logic is brutally simple. The more impressive the signal, the higher the chances of reproduction. Now look at human life. Degrees hanging on walls, perfectly sculpted bodies, companies built with obsessive ambition, social media profiles carefully designed to look impressive. On some level, many of these things are just modern versions of the peacock's tail. Displays, signals, announcements of value. The evolutionary psychologist Geoffrey describes the human mind as a display system. Intelligence, creativity, humor, artistic talent, ambition. These traits are not just practical abilities. They are signals, ways of showing other people that there is something special about you. In his book, The Mating Mind, Miller argues that many of our mental abilities evolved because they were attractive. Storytelling, music, humor, art, these things capture attention. And attention has always been valuable in human groups. When someone tells a brilliant story, plays music beautifully, or makes an entire room laugh, something shifts in the social atmosphere. People notice. People remember. admiration appears. And admiration has always carried power, because admiration often turns into attraction. Suddenly, activities that seem purely cultural begin to look different. Writing poetry, playing music, making people laugh, even personality itself can become a kind of display, a performance designed to stand out. But here's the disturbing part. Most people are not aware they are doing this. They believe their motivations are completely rational. Sigmund Freud believed much of the human mind operates outside conscious awareness. According to him, hidden drives quietly influence desires and decisions. A person thinks they are acting for logical reasons, but the deeper motivation may be something else entirely. Arthur Schopenhauer pushed this idea even further. He believed human beings are driven by something he called the will to live, an impersonal force pushing life to continue itself. Individuals believe they are pursuing happiness, but in reality, they may simply be serving the continuation of the species. It's a brutal idea because it suggests that many things we consider personal choices may not be personal at all. Look at everyday life through this lens. Crowded gyms filled with people chasing the perfect body, people competing for attention online, professionals obsessively trying to prove their worth, artists desperate for recognition. At first glance, this all looks modern, but the mechanism behind it is ancient, extremely ancient. Before money existed, humans were already competing for partners. Before social media existed, humans were already displaying themselves. Before careers existed, humans were already trying to prove their value. Technology did not create these instincts, it only amplified them. The point here is not to reduce human life to sex. Reality is more complicated than that. But pretending sexual selection has no influence on human behavior would be a comfortable lie. And once you begin seeing this pattern, an uncomfortable question appears. How many of the things you're chasing in life are truly your dreams? And how many are just ancient instincts wearing modern clothes? Because once being chosen becomes important for survival, people start organizing their entire lives around one thing: looking valuable in the eyes of others. And that realization leads to something even more disturbing. Many human behaviors make absolutely no sense if survival is the only explanation. Writing poetry does not help you escape predators. Telling jokes does not produce food. Painting art does not help you survive winter. Yet humans dedicate entire lives to these things. Why? Because survival is not the same as being chosen. And throughout human history, being chosen has often mattered even more. And once you realize that, you begin to see human civilization very differently. Because beneath the surface of culture, ambition, and success, there may be something much older running the show. Something silent, something powerful, and something most people never question. Once the ability to attract others becomes important, something strange begins to happen. People start organizing their entire lives around signals. Signals of success, signals of beauty, signals of intelligence, signals of power. Most people never notice it, but if you step back and watch carefully, the pattern becomes obvious. Let's ask a very simple question. Why would someone spend $10 million on a watch? Not a metaphor, a watch. It does not tell time better than a cheap digital watch. It does not protect you from disease. It does not make you live longer. It does not solve a single real problem of human survival. Yet people dedicate decades of their lives chasing the kind of wealth that allows them to buy one. Why? Because the watch is not about time. It is about display. It is a signal. It tells the world something without words. I have resources. I have power. I am successful. And the strange thing is, people immediately understand the message. The same thing happens with cars. A luxury car moves at the same speed as every other car stuck in traffic, but that is not why people buy it. The car is a moving announcement. It communicates status. Clothes do the same thing. Homes do the same thing. Vacations do the same thing. Even restaurants do the same thing. People are not just living their lives, they are broadcasting signals about their value. And throughout human history, these signals had very real consequences. Individuals who appeared powerful, capable, or high status attracted attention. Attention turned into admiration. Admiration often turned into attraction. For thousands of generations, status meant something important. It meant protection. It meant resources. It meant survival. And over time, the human brain learned to treat status as a powerful indicator of value. This is why the race for prestige can become so intense. Because on a deep psychological level, prestige has always been connected to desirability. A powerful position is not just influence, it is a signal. A luxury lifestyle is not just comfort, it is a signal. A high-status career is not just employment, it is a signal. And signals are designed to be seen. But material success is not the only form of display. Creativity can also function as a signal. Think about artists, musicians, writers, comedians, actors. Most of what they create has no direct survival value. A song does not produce food, a painting does not protect you from predators, a joke does not build shelter, and yet people spend their entire lives developing these abilities. Why? Because creativity captures attention. When someone performs an extraordinary piece of music, the entire room becomes silent. When someone tells a brilliant story, people lean closer. When someone makes a crowd laugh, everyone turns toward them. Attention moves. Admiration appears. And admiration has always carried social power. Throughout history, individuals who could enchant others with words, art, humor, or intelligence often became highly valued inside their communities. They became memorable. They became admired. And admiration often made them desirable. From an evolutionary perspective, this was never irrelevant. People who attract attention receive more social opportunities, more connections, more influence, and yes, often more romantic opportunities. This is one reason creativity rarely stays hidden. Artists do not just create, they perform, they publish, they present. They want their work to be seen, because recognition is part of the reward. But this system has a darker side. Many artists become addicted to applause. External validation becomes emotional oxygen. Without attention, motivation begins to collapse. Without admiration, the meaning of the work starts to feel uncertain. And this reveals something uncomfortable. Even some of the most beautiful human creations may still be connected to an ancient instinct, showing value in order to be chosen. Now look at the world we live in today. Something strange has happened. Never in human history has survival been easier for so many people. Most people do not hunt for food, they do not run from predators, they do not fear winter starvation. Modern society solved many of the physical dangers that shaped early human life. And yet, anxiety is everywhere. People feel constantly judged, constantly evaluated, constantly compared. And one of the biggest amplifiers of this pressure is social media. Social media turned human life into a permanent display. Photos are not just memories anymore, they are signals. The lighting is adjusted, the body is positioned, the background is carefully chosen. Sometimes dozens of photos are taken just to find one acceptable image. Why? Because hundreds, sometimes thousands of people will see it. And every post carries a silent question. Is this impressive enough? Is this attractive enough? Is this admirable enough? This same pressure appears in physical appearance. Gyms packed with people chasing the perfect body, extreme workout routines, strict diets, cosmetic procedures becoming more common every year. The human body is no longer just biology, it has become a display platform. Careers also became part of this signaling system. A profession is no longer just a way to survive, it is also a statement. It communicates intelligence, competence, ambition, social value. And this creates something dangerous, a permanent race. Psychologists call this social comparison. The human brain constantly measures itself against others. Who looks more successful? Who looks more attractive? Who seems more admired? For most of human history, this comparison happened inside small groups, a tribe, a village, maybe 50 people. Today, the comparison happens against thousands, sometimes millions. And the brain was never designed for that. Because social media does not show reality, it shows highlights, vacations, achievements, perfect angles, perfect moments, the most impressive fragments of other people's lives. When the human brain constantly compares its ordinary life to the most impressive moments of everyone else, a predictable result appears. People start feeling inadequate, not rich enough, not attractive enough, not successful enough. Anxiety grows. Depression linked to comparison becomes more common. People spend hours analyzing their own appearance before sharing an image. But here's the important part. Social media did not create this instinct. It only amplified it. The instinct was always there. The need to be admired, the need to be desired, the need to be chosen. Technology simply built an environment where that instinct never gets to rest. And when an ancient biological impulse meets a system designed to constantly stimulate it, something unsettling happens. Human behavior becomes easier to predict, because beneath all the complexity of modern life, the same ancient question keeps driving people forward. Am I valuable enough to be chosen? And when that question becomes the engine behind ambition, creativity, appearance, and success, the consequences reach far beyond individual lives. They begin shaping something much bigger: history itself. Now, step back even further. Look not just at individuals, but at history itself. Because the same force that pushes people to chase status, admiration, and attention may also be hiding behind some of the biggest events in human civilization. History likes to present itself in noble language: glory, destiny, progress, great leaders shaping the future. But if you look carefully, another pattern begins to appear. Many of the people who shaped history were not just chasing power, they were chasing recognition. Think about kings. Throughout history, rulers fought enormous wars. Thousands died, cities burned, entire civilizations collapsed, and the official explanation was always something respectable: territory, security, national pride. But very often, there was something else involved: prestige, the desire to be remembered, the desire to stand above all others. Look at how rulers behaved. They did not just rule. They built monuments, gigantic palaces, massive statues, enormous temples, structures designed to outlive them by centuries. Why? Because power was not enough. They wanted their names carved into history. They wanted admiration from generations that had not even been born yet. And admiration has always been a powerful currency. Because prestige attracts attention. Attention attracts influence, and influence often attracts desire. This pattern repeats again and again in human history. Generals chasing glory, explorers risking everything to become legends, leaders trying to leave behind a legacy that people will speak about for centuries. The official story calls it ambition, but sometimes it looks suspiciously like something simpler: a deep hunger to be admired. The philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer noticed this long ago. He believed that human beings often misunderstand their own motivations. We believe we are acting for personal goals, but beneath those goals there may be a deeper force, something he called the will to live, an endless drive pushing life to continue itself. According to Schopenhauer, individuals believe they are pursuing happiness, but very often they are simply serving the continuation of life itself. It is not a comforting idea, because it suggests that many of our ambitions are not truly ours. They may be expressions of something older, something biological, something we barely understand. Sigmund Freud later explored a similar idea. He believed the sexual drive, the libido, does not only appear as direct sexuality, it can transform itself. It can become ambition, competition, creation, achievement. The original energy remains the same, only the form changes. That is why human motivations often feel complicated. A scientist may truly love knowledge, but recognition might still matter. A leader may genuinely believe in serving others, but the attraction of power may also be present. An artist may create something beautiful out of pure expression, but the desire for admiration may still be there. Human motivation is rarely pure. It is usually a mixture: curiosity, ego, desire, recognition, biology, psychology, culture, all tangled together. Modern evolutionary psychology has reinforced many of these suspicions. Human behavior did not appear out of nowhere. It was shaped by thousands of generations of survival and reproduction. Traits that increased social value often spread through populations. Intelligence, confidence, charisma, humor, creativity. All of these qualities can attract attention. And attention has always mattered, because attention creates opportunities. Opportunities create connections. Connections create reproduction. Seen from this perspective, many human achievements begin to look different. Scientific discoveries, artistic revolutions, political power, fame, recognition. They may all contain traces of a deeper biological drive. The drive to stand out, the drive to be admired, the drive to matter in the eyes of others. Look at the modern world. Who receives the most attention? Celebrities, athletes, actors, influencers, musicians, public figures whose lives are constantly watched. Entire industries exist just to manufacture attention. Fame itself has become one of the most powerful currencies in the modern world. And fame has a predictable side effect: it increases desirability. Even outside celebrity culture, smaller versions of this system appear everywhere. Inside workplaces, inside friend groups, inside communities. People quietly compete for recognition. Who is the most respected? Who is the most admired? Who receives the most attention? These are forms of social currency, and they influence relationships in ways most people never openly discuss. But here is where the story becomes uncomfortable. Because if admiration and attraction have shaped human behavior for thousands of years, then many of the things people chase today may not be purely rational goals. Careers, success, influence, public recognition, even personal identity, all of these may be shaped by the same ancient instinct: the instinct to be valued by others, the instinct to be seen, the instinct to be chosen. And if that is true, then some of humanity's greatest achievements may not have been driven entirely by wisdom or progress. They may also have been driven by a deep emotional hunger, the hunger to matter, the hunger to stand above the crowd, the hunger to be admired. This does not make human achievements meaningless, but it does change how we see them, because the story of human civilization may not be as rational as we like to believe. Sometimes the grand language of progress hides very simple instincts underneath. Instincts that existed long before philosophy, long before science, long before civilization itself. Instincts that shaped behavior when humans lived in small tribes fighting for survival. And those instincts never disappeared. They adapted, they evolved, they found new forms. Today, they appear through social media, through careers, through fame, through status, through digital attention. But the core mechanism may still be the same: the need to be seen, the need to be valued, the need to be chosen. And once you begin to notice this pattern, many things start looking different. Ambition looks different, success looks different, even admiration starts to feel more complicated. Because behind many human actions, there may be an invisible force quietly shaping behavior. A force older than civilization, older than culture, older than history itself. And recognizing that force leads to an even deeper question. If so many human decisions are influenced by instincts we barely understand, how many of our choices are truly conscious? And how many are simply ancient pressures guiding us from the shadows? That question leads to the final and most uncomfortable layer of this entire discussion. Now the uncomfortable part begins. Because once you start seeing this pattern, it stops being something abstract. It becomes personal. You begin to notice it in your own life. Your ambitions, your insecurities, your goals, your need to prove something. And suddenly, a disturbing possibility appears. What if many of the things you believe are your dreams were never truly yours? What if they were inherited, ancient instincts wearing modern disguises. Think about it honestly. Why do people want to become famous? Why do people want millions of followers? Why do people obsess over looking impressive online? Why does admiration feel so powerful? Because admiration is social proof. It tells the group, this person has value. And once that signal appears, everything else changes. Attention increases, opportunities increase, influence increases. And throughout human history, attention often translated into attraction. So people begin chasing admiration the same way earlier humans chased survival. But here is the problem. Admiration is unstable. It lives inside the minds of other people, and other people are unpredictable. What impresses people today can become ordinary tomorrow. Status fades. Beauty fades. Trends change. A career that once looked extraordinary can suddenly become average. And when your sense of value depends on the attention of others, something dangerous happens. Your sense of self becomes fragile because it depends on an audience. This may explain one of the strangest contradictions of modern life. Human beings today live safer, longer, and more comfortable lives than almost any generation in history. We are not running from predators. We are not starving in winter. We are not dying from infections that once wiped out entire villages. And yet, anxiety is everywhere. Depression is rising. People feel constantly inadequate. Why? Because the battle for survival has been replaced by a battle for recognition. People are no longer fighting for food. They are fighting for attention. And attention is far more unstable than food. It can disappear instantly. Look at social media. Millions of people competing for visibility. Perfect photos, perfect bodies, perfect lifestyles. But these images are not reality. They are performances, fragments carefully chosen to create admiration. And the brain compares itself to those fragments every day, all the time. The result is predictable. People begin to feel like they are falling behind, not successful enough, not attractive enough, not interesting enough, not admired enough. The human brain was never designed for this environment. For most of human history, you compared yourself to maybe 30 or 40 people in your tribe. Now, you compare yourself to thousands, sometimes millions. And many of those people are showing only the most impressive moments of their lives. This creates a psychological trap. The more people chase admiration, the less satisfied they become. Because admiration has no finish line. Someone will always have more status, more attention, more influence, more beauty, more success. Psychologists sometimes call this the status treadmill. You run faster and faster, but the finish line keeps moving because the goal was never stability. The goal was relative value, being ahead of others, being admired more than others. And that race never truly ends. But understanding this creates a strange opportunity because awareness changes the game. Once you recognize how deeply the need for admiration shapes human behavior, you can begin asking questions most people never ask themselves honestly. Why do I want this career? Why do I feel pressure to prove my value? Why do I want recognition so badly? Is this truly my desire, or did I absorb it from the world around me? These questions are uncomfortable because they challenge the entire structure of modern ambition. Society constantly tells you to chase success, chase recognition, chase influence, chase admiration. But very few people stop to ask where those desires actually come from. This is where philosophy becomes dangerous. Philosophy does not always make life easier. Sometimes it makes life clearer. Thinkers like Schopenhauer believe that understanding the hidden forces behind human desire can break certain illusions. Not all illusions, but some. And once those illusions break, the race for admiration begins to look different. The pressure weakens. The performance loses some of its power. Because the moment you stop treating admiration as the ultimate goal of life, something surprising happens.
The constant tension begins to fade. The need to impress everyone becomes less important. The comparison with others becomes quieter. You start seeing the game instead of blindly playing it. And when that happens, new possibilities appear. Curiosity, understanding, inner stability. These things rarely create applause. They rarely attract admiration, but they offer something admiration cannot give: freedom from constant validation. Of course, no human being fully escapes the influence of others. We are social creatures. Recognition will always matter to some degree, but awareness changes the relationship. Instead of chasing admiration endlessly, you begin to observe it. Instead of measuring your life through the eyes of others, you begin questioning why those eyes had so much power in the first place. And this brings us to the most important question of this entire discussion, a question most people never ask themselves honestly. How many of the things you are pursuing in life were actually chosen by you? And how many were quietly installed in your mind by instincts older than civilization? There's no easy answer, but simply asking the question changes something. Because awareness breaks the illusion that all of our desires are truly our own. And once that illusion cracks, the world begins to look very different. If you made it this far, you are already part of a small group of people willing to look at uncomfortable ideas. This channel exists because of people like you. People who are curious, people who question things others accept without thinking, people who are not afraid to explore the darker corners of human nature. If you feel connected to this kind of thinking, consider becoming a subscriber of the channel. And to everyone who already supports the channel, thank you. You are the reason these conversations exist. This is not for everyone. It is a direct confrontation with some of the harshest truths of existence. No comforting stories, no illusions, only clarity. Even if you simply watch, comment, or share the video, you are already part of this. And here, that matters. Thank you for being here.